Okay. Good morning, everybody. Going to give it a few moments and see if anybody chooses to join us today. So we are talking about the healing process, the different modalities. We are talking about higher self. So if you are interested, I hope you join me today. If not, and you join us later, this video is 100% up for you to view. All right. So we're going to just jump on in here and talk a little bit about healing. You know, it's such an important topic, and it is such an important aspect of our lives and who we are, about our truths, about our persons. This is something that we all have to have the courage to undertake. And so when I talk healing, it is multifaceted. Yes, you have healing from the physical and mental sense. We have, doctors and psychologists and everybody who are so important to our daily lives, to the quality of our existence. But we also have healing on a spiritual sense. And that's where we're going to venture today. And so when I say healing on a spiritual sense, it could be multiple things. It could be that quick little, psychic reading that you have. You can gain an answer. Insight is a better word. You can gain insight into a situation that helps you guide yourself. The way I look at psychic readings and tarot and everything. Good morning and welcome to the broadcast. We're talking about healing. We're talking about higher self and all of that today. But for psychic readings, the way I look at it is I look at it as a connection to spirit that helps us help ourselves. We all kind of want those quick fix answers. The yes, the no, the should I stay, should I go? And sometimes those answers don't help us in the way that we need to be helped. Good morning, Aura. So I'm just talking a little bit about, psychic readings, the healing process, and higher self today. So I'm glad you could join. But yeah, so those tarot readings, psychic readings, sometimes we need spirit to not give us the direct answer through whom we are inquiring about, what situation that we're inquiring about. Sometimes we need our spiritual advisor, your psychic reader, your Reiki master, to assist us in figuring out the lessons that we need to learn on the back end. And so that's just one portion of the healing, I believe. The next portion of healing, let's talk about Reiki. Oh, Leon, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Much love to you, boo. But we're going to talk about Reiki. And I'm going to use myself as prime example A. Aw, I love you. You're so sweet. I Reiki has been a major factor in my healing process. You know, several years ago when I was, out of state, just living my daily life, I had no idea the extent of my gifts. I did not understand. I never went to a psychic, never went to anything. But I was very withdrawn, very depressed, very couldn't stand around, be around people. It would be like you work your days, right? You work your days and then it's crash. You have your crash day. And those days I literally locked myself away from the world. Didn't want to see a single soul. Couldn't deal with seeing a single soul. And when I moved back home, I was drawn towards spirit and spark. And that is where I met a bunch of wonderful, wonderful people, my mentors, my exceptional good friends. But through that, it brought me to Reiki. And I am forever grateful for that. And so when we talk about Reiki, there's multiple different areas of Reiki as well. And so that's beautiful. 3 months that's amazing. It takes such courage to begin the healing process because you have to do such a deep dive into yourself. And so always give yourself credit for making that jump and diving in to where you need to dive into in yourself. But you have Holy Fire Reiki. Well, there's Tibetan Reiki, there's Holy Fire Reiki, there's Karuna Reiki. And so when you begin the process, they each have similarities, but there's also differences and additions and different vibrations that are associated with each one. Like Holy Fire Reiki takes the Tibetan style, in a sense, and adds in that holy fire energy. And that is a majority of, what you see nowadays is because that holy fire energy is such a blessing to the Reiki session and such a blessing to what you're going through. You have to go through these processes. And the interesting thing is as you learn Reiki, so say you want to become a practitioner and you're like, I want to know more about Reiki. I want to practice it. I want to be able to help others help themselves in the way I've been helped. Should you choose to embark on that path, one of the important things to remember in order to help others heal themselves, you first have to embark on a healing journey of your own. And, when you learn like Holy Fire Reiki, by the end of the second class, if you have done everything and you are certified, you will get a certificate and you can go out and begin your journey. If you take that third class, which is 6 months down the road, because they want you to be able to integrate with that energy. They want you to know it and love it and embrace it, but know how to work with it. When you take that master class, if paired with a teaching class, is a 3-day process. And it is a very in-depth healing process that you go through in those 3 days. And then you have, like I mentioned, Karuna Reiki. Well, Karuna Reiki is an even higher vibration of just the Holy Fire Reiki. Karuna Reiki utilizes those higher vibrations. It is, healing on a cellular level. It is multidimensional. There's so much more to it, and it makes it so much more powerful. It's very it's very much utilized when dealing with like childhood trauma, past life healing, anything of that nature. Karuna Reiki is exceptionally beautiful for. And so when you get the process of adding Karuna Reiki, you have that holy fire that you've already been trained in. Well, now you're going into the Karuna Reiki, and you're learning that, and you're going through an even bigger healing process because you've given yourself permission to do so. And that is the biggest thing when you embark on your healing journey. You have to give yourself permission to do so. It is hard. It is so hard. I can't even describe the extent of the healing that I went through, but it was impactful. It was extremely difficult. And ultimately, I had to give myself the okay to move forward and say, I know I need this. I can feel it intuitively. Like, I know I need to do this class. So if I'm going to help others, if I want to help others, if that's my path, I have to heal myself. And so I had to give myself permission, even though I wanted to run away. Because let's face it, like I said, healing is not always simple in any which way, shape, or form. In fact, most likely 10 out of 10, it's not easy. It's scary. It's painful. It's important. It's so important. Because where I sit now is 100% not in the same energy, in the same vibration, in the same anything as where I sat how many months ago or years ago, I guess, when I first started my journey into spirituality and learning. 100% not. Like, it's awareness on a whole other level. It's knowing what you're doing to stay in the low vibrational energy. It's being aware, but knowing that you have the ability to fix it and heal it and learn those lessons and move past what you need to move past and practice your medicine, your spiritual medicine. Like, everything is connected, and I'll touch base, there's a couple other, I know there's other healing modalities. When you look outside the box, for like the little things, even the crystals that you wear, that you have on your shelf, you may not understand what crystals can do for you. And that's perfectly okay, because let's face it, we've all been there where you're stuck on Instagram for like 6 hours in a live crystal cell, and the next thing you know, you're down $300, and you're like, well, that happened. But if you're drawn to something, there's a reason that you're drawn to it. It might just feel like you're like, ooh, shiny. But there's a reason why we wear the crystals we wear. There's a reason why we surround ourselves with them. And it's not just for the look. A lot of us who utilize them can utilize them in our healing processes. So whether you wear selenite around your neck to help keep your heart space cleared. If you wear, your smoky quartz and your onyx. You know, it's protection, it's grounding. Whether you have some beautiful crystals sitting on your desk or by your bedside, and they're there and they help you with whatever you need assistance with. These are tools that you can add to your daily lives to help you heal, even when you're unaware that it's assisting you. You can add crystals to a Reiki practice. That's done all the time. They're just additional assistance. What's obsidian? Obsidian. Oh, did I say onyx? I think I meant obsidian. So obsidian is a beautiful black crystal. It is actually very protective. So when you get like your black crystals, my immediate thing is protection. And so obsidian, you have black onyx, black tourmaline. They all are very, connected in that area. And so like where black is that kind of like that force of protection in a sense. And yes, there's a lot of other areas that can assist with. So I do always recommend you look them up because you will find much more information than I can give you right here. But, like selenite is cleansing. And so that's like if you wear it around your neck, you can have it on your heart space. What is it doing? It's keeping your heart chakra cleared. So you're not building it up, You can also, with selenite, quickly clear your energy with it. So say you walk in to a venue and it is overrun with people and you are just like energy overload, or you just, what? The energy is enough, just kind of like we have sage spray and stuff. You can walk outside, grab a selenite wand and be done with that. There are various different crystals that you should look into. And so different colors have different meanings. Yes. But what's that vibration? What are you picking up from the crystal? I picked up a crystal at a shop because I was drawn to it like none other. It's on a necklace. I literally cannot wear it. It is way too much for me right now, but I know it's meant to be with me. And I know that there's certain things that it's to assist me with, but at this time, that'll be in the future. But at this moment, at this time, that crystal does not get worn at all. The flame. If you start walking around with a Flavor Flav watch necklace, I need a picture. Moldavite. Yes. Moldavite is a very powerful, very, very powerful crystal, Michelle. So the one I have that's too much for me is actually black kyanite. And it is gorgeous and I love it. But I mean, at one point it hurt to even have it in my pocket. That's how you just, right? You love them, but sometimes you have to be prepared for them. But, let's touch, I know a lot of people, actually I'm going to talk about another modality. I don't have all the information on this one, but I do want to touch base on it because it is popping up. I know somebody who is training in it as well. And that is going to be your Seraph Blueprint healing. So Seraph Blueprint, from what I understand, is actually it's a different healing from Reiki, but it's just as powerful. And it's a high vibrational healing as well. Like, it probably higher than Karuna. It utilizes connectivity and healing with the energy of the angels. So you're working with the seraphim to go in and heal what needs to be healed. And so I am going to touch base on that. I think what I just said is heal what needs to be healed. Everything heals in a time and space that it's meant to heal in. And so if you keep being drawn back to something and it just keeps popping up, you know that it's time for that to be healed. It's time for you to let go. And so honor that. And so I'm going to, for an example, before I went through my Karuna training in January, I'll tell you, a good solid 6 months, I kept having something pop up on my radar. And I was confused as to why is this coming up? What is happening? Like, I don't understand. I do understand now. But it was gearing up because that Karuna class was the thing that helped heal this piece. And so listen to your intuition. Listen to your spiritual team, whether it's your archangels, your angels, your spirit guides, if you have your animal totems, or if you have ancestors, just your spiritual team that has your highest and best at heart. It's all about love. It is 100% all about love. And so your healing, should you embark on your journey, like I mentioned with crystals, that's another little tiny facet. This is called Witchy Wednesday. Witchcraft, for lack of a better term, I go, it's a craft, but it's a craft that you can utilize to help heal. A prayer candle is a manifestation candle, is essentially candle magic. You're putting your intention into the candle, into the herbs, into the oil that anoint that candle. You're doing a blessing, you're saying a prayer, and you're focusing. And so when you light that candle, you're bringing in the fire energy to help breathe life into that intention, into that healing. So when you have your prayer, whether it's for health, happiness, whether it's in memory of, whether it's for world peace, you are setting your intention. A healing energy goes into that candle. And with that flame, it sets it free. Herbs, like I said, sage spray. You can't always be rolling around, lighting up those herb bundles. The sage, the rosemary, the cedar. You can't just be, having them everywhere. It's just fire codes. So know your essential oils. Get to know the essential oil that you utilize outside of its name, outside of what the internet tells you it is for, take your essential oil, because you have to understand the essential oil is basically the essence of that plant, that herb, that flower. But open it up, breathe it in. And what is the first thing that comes to your mind? What is the first word that you associate that with? Well, guess what? Now you have oils and herbs helping you, because like I said, you can do the same thing with dried herbs. Stick your hand in it, smell it. What's the first word that comes to your mind when you're asking for healing? Write it down, because now you know what that oil, that herb, that flower, whatever it is that you're utilizing, you know how it's going to help you heal, or help heal that situation, or help bless that candle to put your intention into healing. you're going to understand that that oil and that herb, that flower essence, whatever it is, has a purpose with you as an individual, with your energy and with your alignment. But also, because I don't want to forget to talk about, is our connection to our higher self. You know, our higher self, for all intents and purposes, is our spirit. It is the part of us that is always the same, and it is connected to Creator. It's the heavens. It's connected. It knows everything about every lifetime. You know, that's when you talk about the Akashic records, right? Your higher self is there to help you. It's an essence of who you are. So you have your spirit, and then you have your soul. And the reason I'm going to say this is asking your higher self to help you heal is important, because you have to heal everything that is associated with your higher, you know, with your spirit, yes. But you also have to help heal what's with your soul. And the soul is, you know, within your body. And there's a reason why I separate. You know, when I went through that healing process with Corona, you know, I've been told this before, and this was just a very big, like, solidifier of confirmation. The term walk-in soul is a very unique concept. And I resonate with it extremely well. You know, growing up, I had medical issues on medical issues, and doctors, and you know, hospital visits, and surgeries. And so when you grow up and you don't know that you have your spiritual gifts, you don't know that you're an empath, you don't know like anything, right? You're just trying to hold space in an environment that's traumatic. Even if it doesn't feel traumatic at the time for you, you know, on the back end, there's trauma involved. That comes up years later. Hashtag that came up for me last year. You know, there's these things, and to go through a process, a healing process, to find out that, you know, you come into this world under soul contract. Sometimes when that soul has everything it wanted to do fulfilled, it has the ability to work with another soul to create a contract and swap spaces. And that soul that was born can now go back to the heavens. Well, something traumatic. Let's say that, you know, that first soul that you were born with goes through a very traumatic experiences and passes away. Well, another soul under contract can come in and fulfill the rest of the contract that the original soul had. And there's so much more to it. So much more to it. And so I can sit here and tell you I'm a walk-in. I won't go into everything, but I guess. So when we have our higher self and our soul, souls need healing. Bits of pieces of us that die, that go through something traumatic, can break away. You know, that's why when they talk about fractured souls, or if you've heard the term soul retrieval, it's literally this piece of your soul that went through something and needs to be healed. So, you know, it can be use myself as an example again. You guys are just getting a whole insight into me. But I want you to understand my transparency is here to help you help yourselves. Hi, Nikki. Welcome. We are just talking about healing today. So, for an example, my yes nature, my being an empath when I didn't realize I was an empath, all of those things led up to me just giving and 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 giving, to the point where you start giving so much of yourself and you don't know how to like have that boundary. You were never taught to have that boundary. You were always just like, I need to help. I need to help. As an empath, it's just like, I have to help you. It's like a compulsion in a way, but it's all out of love. And you make the decision to, I just totally lost my train of thought there, you guys. But you have this compulsion, right? You have to help. Well, then now you're over giving and they keep asking, and you keep giving and they keep asking, and you keep giving and they keep asking. Then the anger comes, the frustration, the sadness, the doubt, the hurt, the pain. Well, this piece of your soul that is going through and says, I need to protect myself because you clearly are not doing it for me, removes itself from the equation. And so what happens? Now you going through a healing, something, let's say you've done healing and you've done this, but all of a sudden this piece of you comes back into play because it's triggered by something similar. It can be a completely different area, but there's something within the energy of the similarities that trigger this piece of your soul that walked away. And now you're full of anger and you are just like, what the heck is happening? Well, you go through that healing process of that soul retrieval. Well, now it's your time to honor that piece of your soul. Give it the recognition, give it the love, give it the healing, give it the just complete and utter embrace. Because that piece of you needs love. Like, just it needs your love. And that is what the healing process is about. It's about love. It is loving yourself enough to go through the pain of healing so you can rise on the other side who you are, what your truth is, what your authenticity is screaming at. This is all about you, giving to you. As a healer, it's not my job to come in and heal you. I know it sounds weird and it sounds backwards, but there's a dualistic nature in everything. So even with Reiki, if I'm giving you a Reiki session and you're going through your healing process because you've given yourself permission to do it, guess what? I'm also healing myself in the process. True. Helping you helps me. But at the same time, you are helping yourself help yourself. And so as a healer, it is our job to help give you tools, to help you embrace the healing that you need for yourself. It's helping you help yourself, ultimately. So write that down. I help you help yourself. This is not me coming in with all of those answers. Yes, no, maybe so. Move right, move left. I don't dictate. So if you've had a reading with me, you know that I don't always sit there and say, yes, no, maybe so. I want you to work it out. Because I can give you a little bit of guidance of what I feel. The ultimate answer comes from within yourself, because your intuition, your soul's journey, everything that you are here to do, we can't always have those answers directly given to us. And so, yes, it can get frustrating. We lose our patience in the healing process. We lose, we just want it done, right? Or our self-doubt comes into play so strongly and our fear builds up that we are so afraid to move left or right. But when you ask for a clear-cut yes and no answer and you're unwilling to take upon the healing and the lessons learned for yourself, what are you doing? You're passing the responsibility onto somebody else. And so even though we all have that connection to spirit, we all have our gifts, there could be something that we are not told and not informed about. There could very well be something that you are not ready, and spirit knows you're not ready to deal with, or it's not like in a time frame that works for you. You're not going to get your answer. But at the same time, we have to be able to say, thank you, ego. Because remember, our ego is there to protect us. Our ego is there, fight or flight kind of. Don't let it hinder. So be that open-minded and understand you're not going to have all the answers all the time. You're just not. This healing process is all about that deep dive into yourself, but it's like an onion. You have to uncover layers. So you may want to go straight to the center and, fry that sucker up and have your bloomin' onion. Unfortunately, you have to, peel the skin off, do the first layer, do the second layer, something comes up, do that third layer, because the more you go through your healing, I hate to say it, the more there is to heal, but at the same time, it's what's best for you. And you become so much stronger. You become so much more powerful in your own energy. You become a better version of yourself in this lifetime because you've embarked on that healing and you have given yourself permission. And so when you connect to your higher self, you can connect with your higher self before you go into, just make sure that you are fully protected all times. I have to say, I am stress that enough. Just if you do the white light from the heavens surrounding you in protection, perfect. If you connect with archangels and ask them for a circle of protection, great. If you're spraying yourself and you're setting your energy, you can use Reiki. If you've been, go through a Reiki 1, guess what? You can use that Reiki energy to offer a circle of protection in your space. Set your energy in your space before you connect and give yourself permission to connect. So be like, I freely ask to connect to, and have that and build that relationship with your higher self and understand the vibrations, what you're feeling. And yes, your higher self can assist you in your healing process because your higher self is connected. Like I said, that's your spirit. It's up there. But, understand there are certain things that you may want right now, and it's just not feasible. So everything that has happened when I embarked on my journey, I'll tell you what, right now, I look at this and I go, I did not start my journey until 2018, 2019, something like that. So put that in perspective. It's 2022. You know, we want to control the situation. We want to have that control, and we want to jump into the yes, no answers. We want to immediately heal what we need to be healed and just be done with it. And we want all the answers today, and we want all of the answers of what's happening, because we do not like being in the unknown. It's fear. And guess what? I look back and I say, 2018, y'all, I had no idea. I had no idea the extent of my gifts. I didn't realize I didn't know I was an empath. Like, I heard the term once and it kind of resonated, but I didn't really know. And it's 2022. I have gone through massive healing since then. I have grown in ways I know, more of my gifts and what I'm capable of. But I give myself permission to embark. And so I want you to love yourselves enough to embark. That is the main key of everything that I say today, is love yourself enough to embark on a healing process. Find a modality that you resonate with. It doesn't have to be Reiki. It doesn't have to be Seraph Blueprint. There are other modalities out there. Take a look. Find somebody whose energy you feel comfortable with, who you trust, to embark on that spiritual journey. And I'm going to put this out there as well. Sometimes you start the Reiki process and it's great. Sometimes it's also a wonderful tool to have a therapist that you can work with. So you have healing from both areas. You have a psychologist if you're doing, if it's all about that mental, emotional, anything like that. Pair the two together. So you are hitting it from this professionally, mental side of things, where they can uncover and help you work through things that your Reiki healer can't. Because at the end of the day, we're spiritual based, right? We're not therapists. And even though we are here to listen to you, to help guide, to help inspire, working with somebody in dual is beyond beneficial in a way I can't even explain. I've done it. I recommend it always. But let's see here. Where are we at? We're about ready to wrap it up today. Do you guys have any questions? Any quick questions before we end today's live? And I just want to thank you guys for joining, because this is really something I'm passionate about, but I'm passionate about it because I've gone through it, and I want others to experience it as well. So I'll give you guys just a second. If you have any questions, put them in the chat. If you are watching this in a recording, thank you. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you for experiencing this. I want you to love yourself the way we do. All right, guys. So growing is painful. Nikki, 100%. 100%. Growing is painful, but it's worth it. It is worth it. Go to the growth. You guys deserve it. All right, loves. It was an honor. Such an honor to be here with you guys today. So I'm thanking you for joining. I'm thanking you for listening. And I want you to take the time you know, connect, find a healing path that works for you. I just want you to laugh all day. The vision of a huge crystal necklace. That will definitely be on my mind. Oh, no. Oh, Nikki, I'm sending you so much love, hun. If you need anything, I love you. All right, guys. I am sending you off with many bright blessings and many thanks for you to joining us. Please embark on your healing journey. You know, whether you're seeking guidance and clarity, whether you are seeking, you know, soul healing, this is the way that we are doing. So it is with much love, and I wish you a beautiful day. Bye.